Right, welcome to this week's video. Thanks for joining us. Now, I've decided to put this video up for a few reasons, really. And the first one is really, fishing is not all about catching. Now, I know that personally because I really do blank quite a lot. And there's so many times that I come out and I film and I just don't catch. And, you spend all that time filming and you don't catch. And who wants to watch no one catching? Well, actually thinking about it, fishing is more than just catching fish. It's that whole thing of just being outside and just having a bit of headspace. That's the main thing I can say with it as well. So this is how I deal with it. This is how I deal with day-to-day work and just things that are going on with life. It's just coming here on my own, sitting down, listening to the birds and the sounds that are all around and trying to catch a few fish. So yes, it is great when you go out and catch a fish, but you don't need to be catching fish to actually benefit from fishing. So that's the main thing. So anyway, thanks for joining us and we'll cut straight to the intro. Welcome to sunny Norfolk. We're about half an hour north of Norwich at a place called Cobbleacre Lakes. We're going to be doing some fishing for some cats and some carp, a quick little 24-hour session. So we'll just get trolley poly all loaded up, get over there and get a bivvy set up. Right, so pretty much all set up. Bivvy's all set up behind me here. This is not my style of fishing really. I like to be lightweight. I don't like to have everything in the kitchen sink in a wheelbarrow, pushing around a lake. I like to pretty much have most of my stuff on my back. So we're fishing Mario's Lake at Cobbleacre Lakes here today. It's a lake I've never fished, like I said before. And there's carp and cats up to about £50 the cats go to here as well, so we need something fairly hefty. So we're going to be using the rigged and ready Smuggler Max today. So this has got two tips to it. This has the longer tip is about a £3 test curve and the smaller tip is a £4 test curve. So it's a really good rod for pretty hefty conditions, whether you're fishing for pike, cats, beach fishing, feathering. It's a really good rod. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these two set up here. We'll probably fish a zig rig and we'll probably fish something quite heavy and a big smelly bait on the bottom as well. I'm not expecting much on the cat side until it starts to get dark later on this evening, but we'll get these all set up and we'll look forward to a really nice day sitting here on Mario's Lake. Right, so first rig's all set up. So this is a zig rig. So the way this works is you cast that out, that hits onto the bottom, and then you let some line out to let this float up to the surface, and then you bring it right back down again until you can feel the weight, and then you can then adjust how high you want this to sit into the water. So this is a great little rig, this is. So what we've got here is we've got a Scopex squid pop-up here, and we're going to attach about 6 or 7 lobworm onto the top of that with some baiting floss. So that's going to float. So that is, we're probably going to start off with that right on the bottom. So that's going to sit 6 or 7 inches just off the bottom, just floating like so. So that's the first rig, that's the zig rig. Got a swivel through the end of it there. Just feed the baiting floss through, and then just tie that on. So we've got the second rig here, so we've got quite a heavy lead here onto a quick release sort of mechanism, so if it gets snagged that can actually pull free down to a size 6 hook with quite a long hair, and we need quite a long hair because we're using these cat sticks. These are salmon flavoured cat sticks that I got from Smuggler Lakes a couple of weeks ago. So what we're going to do is just hair rig that and just pull that back through. And that sits like so, but we're going to sit that into a PVA bag with some other pellets as well. Right, there we go, 2 rods out, one on the bottom for the cats and one just about 6 inches off the bottom there. Now it's just a waiting game. Time for a brew, I reckon. The only problem with using a cookser with one of those coffee bags is by the time you throw the coffee bag out, it's only half full. So you need to top it up. Well, I didn't even have time to turn the camera on then. That shot off and spat the hook, unfortunately. So I just changed the bait over to use what's known as a snowman rig. So you basically cut down the pop-up and then have that sitting on top of the boilie, and then it's just slightly weighted so it just sits just above the bottom like so. And that was on the far bank over there. Yeah, it shot off, and it was there for a couple of seconds, but unfortunately it spat the hook. So we shall just re-rig this and get that one back out there, I think. So that's all my PVA bags done for this evening, so I'm pretty much ready for when it gets dark. I'm going to fish one just under that tree over there with one of the cat sticks, and then I'll probably swap from using the critically balanced boilies and probably try one of those massive great bloody yield pellet things there as well. So time for some food. So we've got an Arctic field ration pack by Real Field Meal, and this is the chicken curry. So let's take a look what we've got inside. So we've got Real on the Go cranberry energy bar. What have we got here? We've got hot chocolate, and my favourite, the original nut butter. And then we've got the chicken curry. Now these are absolutely huge, these are. A little portion of coffee, disinfectant white, a piece of chewing gum, and then there's some packed bread inside of there that you can have with the nut butter. And then last but not least, we've got another energy drink there, and this is a peach flavoured one. So we'll get some water on the boil and let's start getting some food down our throat. Well, fish on. And that's a good one. Yeah. He is taking a fair bit of line. And he's right under those snags. Oh, the reel's gone. Oh, snap off. So that's 2 down, no fish on the bank, but at least I know what they're taking and where they're taking it. So we shall just re-rig this and let's hope that we get another one. I can't believe it. Whew. Right, well that's that back out. Oh, my hands are still shaking after that. That was a big, big fish. And it's just gutting, isn't it, when you bloody lose it. That's 2 that I've lost now. Right, we'll just leave that 8 minutes, and I think we'll just have another quick cast before we set up for night. Right, it's quietened off a bit. Well, I say it's quietened off. We've only had 2 runs. I'll take you through the gear that I'm using. So rods, as mentioned before, we're using the Smuggler Max by Rigged and Ready with 2 bait runner reels, and then we've got 2 little bite alarms there. So we've got the high count unhooking mat there, and if we do get anything bigger, I've got a tarp I can lay underneath it. And there's my second-hand bivvy, which cost about £70 off Marketplace. All of my gear is inside of this little bag here, which has got these lovely little legs on there, so it acts as a table as well. I've got my little hiking chair, which I use just sitting outside my bivvy. Now inside of the bivvy, it's a bit of a Nepalese sweat den inside of here. So looking down here, I've got one of these plastic crates here. I've got 3 of these that fit in the back of the truck here. One of them's for my camping stuff, and the other's for cooking and my fishing stuff as well. So I can fit all of my camping stuff inside of there, and then it also acts as a table as well. Then on the top I've got my battery pack and my batteries for my GoPros, which we're going to charge overnight. I've got my remote for my bite indicators, and then I've got my down quilt on top of my bed chair, which is going to keep me nice and warm through the night. Now on top of the bivvy, I've got one of the Sun Blesser remote control bivvy lights here. I've also got one on the inside of the bivvy just down here as well, so that I can flick this on later on in the evening if I want some light outside. Well, there's a bit of mosquito involvement going on, so we'll turn the old tiny repel on. Now while we're talking about the tiny repel, I produced a story in a video on the Flextail tiny repel, and Flextail have used the footage and produced a Facebook advert for it, and somehow they've omitted the part that's where I say that it doesn't work for midges. And it doesn't work for midges, trust me, I have tried it. In this environment like this where you've got a few mosquitoes about, it's absolutely fine, it does work, but midges, no, doesn't work for midges. Right, so I've got all my baits out and everything set for this evening. I've got a big cat bait that I might put on just underneath that tree over there. I've got the cat stick just sitting underneath that tree there, so we're pretty much all ready for the night now. So I'm just going to sit, read my book for a little bit longer, and then get myself into my bed, and then hopefully I can wake you up in the middle of the night with a decent fish in the bag. Oh God, snapped off again. What is going on? Lost that one. That's 3 we've lost now, so it's still only 1 in the morning, so we've still got a chance. That was on a cat stick just on the left there, so we've just rebaited with a couple of PVA bags on each one, and I stuck a massive great bloody deal pellet on the right hand side, so we've still got a chance. Fingers crossed. Well, that's it. Unfortunately, it's a blankety blank. But like I said before, fishing is all about being outdoors, enjoying it, and not just catching. Oh, that's what I tell myself anyway. Thanks for joining me on this little 24-hour session. It has been absolutely great. I've really enjoyed myself. Would have been great to have some fish, but it's just not going to happen. We'll just have to come back another day. Great place to fish though. There was so much life last night. They were slapping about all over the place, but unfortunately nothing on the hook. I'll stick a link to Cobbleacre Lake in the description below there if you fancy coming up and giving this one a go, but I would definitely recommend it. What a beautiful place this is. Just look at this now. So thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel and if you want to come and see me blank many more times, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button just below, and hopefully we'll see you next time on the bank with a fish.